Peggy, your hair is beautiful.
Thank you. You know, I don't like doing these things. The last time I did a testimony, and by the way, thank you for bringing up, even though we don't like to bring up parts of most of us are here from Sequoia. We try to keep that separated from this church, because we're here for God and God only. But the last time I need to thank Kim for being as awesome an assistant manager that she is, too, because it takes more than me to do it. The last time I did a testimony, I didn't plan it. I knew I was supposed to do it. I'm a procrastinator. It's one of the worst sins I commit. Who do you think gets affected the most? I do. So I did the same thing this time again. But the last time I had even more reason to, because it was the same day that I had lost my assistant manager, Gina, who came to this church. And I don't even remember what I said to y'all. I know it was the truth. I know it was from my heart, but it wasn't easy that day doing that. I am blessed over and over and over and time again. Even when times are rough, all I got to do is think about the blessings I have, and I am blessed. Tonight, I've had one friend all my life, and my dad told me she was going to be my friend the rest of my life. You know, and I did all kinds of things, not deliberately towards her, but in my own life, to pull us apart, and we were apart at times during the wrong times of my life. But God brought us back together when I was in three-quarter, as a three-quarter resident. So my friend Marlene has came from Port Huron tonight to be here to hear my testimony. And this is her first time in the church. This is her first time meeting my pastor, but she really does know him because she's heard a lot about him. But he knows her too. It's good to see you all. The reason why I am willing to do a testimony is because I'd be loaded so much with guilt if I didn't. Because if I can touch one person tonight to make them realize that God's right there for you, and that's what you need, and nothing else, and that He comes first, and that your love for Him is the most ultimate love, the most ultimate relationship you've ever experienced any time in your life. If I can get one person to think, well, if Peggy did that after everything she did and rebelled, maybe I'll take a look in the Word and see why she did what she did. Maybe I'll take a minute to look at it. Because Paul was right. I'm a wretch today, but I was really a wretch then. I really was. I guess the first place to start is to tell you I feel I came from a normal childhood. I had a father that loved me dearly. I was his girl. I had a mother, and I had two brothers and one sister, and I was the oldest. I think I was the hardest one for them to raise, too. We had a pretty much normal life, average life. I felt it wasn't normal or average because my mother tried to raise us as Jehovah's Witnesses. And I mean that as I say it. She tried, and each and every one of us rebelled, and my father including. And at times when my mother would want him to move out, he would just come to the Kingdom Hall because he loved her enough not to learn about God, not to be there for the right reason, but because he loved my mother. So he'd sleep through all the meetings. That's what they were called, meetings. I felt I was gypped. I rebelled. I wasn't close with my mother. I was closer to my father, who, didn't go to meetings, and they wanted you to go Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And then they wanted you to go door to door once you were about the age of 11, 12, depending on how mature you were, to advertise the Watchtower in a Wig magazine. And you would have to put so many hours in on to do that. I'm told today, well, I was told 8, 10 years ago that I was baptized when I was 12, and I honestly don't remember. But I honestly feel in my heart I probably did it to try to please my mother, to get more of my own way. Because I really don't remember being baptized. I really don't remember a lot about the Word. So that's the kind of childhood I had. At the age of 16, I ran away from home. My parents wouldn't let me date, even when the guys would come to the door, like gentlemen, and ask. They wouldn't let them, so I would slip out the window. That's when it started. So I ran away from home, met a man that took care of me like he was my dad, protected me. 5 months later, we got married, and less than a year, we had a child. So by the time I was 26 years old, I had been married 10 years, had 3 children, 4 pregnancies, and that's all I knew. I never had a single life. My mom wouldn't let me go to another church when I wanted to go to one. And then when I became the man I married, my husband, he had no religion. So I never taught my kids one thing. I taught them Christmas time, that they get gifts, that that's when Jesus was born. That's about it. You want the truth. And Easter. So I always had an emptiness inside of me. So I started doing volunteer work, muscular dystrophy. I don't even remember everything. March of Dimes. I helped start the Helping Hand signs in Waterford. I was one of the first, me and another lady, that opened up the bingos in Waterford. I don't brag about that now, but we thought it was pretty good then because of what it provided for the kids. I did all kinds of things like that. I was a den mother. I wanted to do the right things for my kids in that way. I thought that was showing them love. My kids were dressed properly, pretty much got what they wanted. I think they were pretty spoiled. But I never taught them Jesus. And the reason why I keep repeating that is because when I did find the Lord, that's the first thing that hit me hard. But I realized what I didn't do. So anyhow, that void still didn't get filled that I had. There still was something out there I had to learn about or know about. It wasn't being just a wife and a mother and a volunteer, and I even became Woman of the Year with JC's, and I'm not bragging because I don't even know what I did to get that honor today. I was on TV with Joe Glover once. If anybody knows who Joe Glover was, I'm showing my age now. Nobody knows who Joe Glover is. Do you, Ma? Anyhow. So, I started falling away from my husband, losing a lot of weight. At 30, I divorced him, and for all the wrong reasons. I don't know if I ever really loved him. I had a special love for him because he was a very giving man, but not the kind of love I thought I needed to have. And I used the excuse that he drank a lot. I really did. And that his personality changed because he drank a lot. So I divorced him, and I became single and slim for the first time at the age of 30. Going to college, working a midnight shift in a restaurant, so I was wild. I became manager, so I set up the schedule to where I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday night off. You don't know why, do you? I closed the bars. But I didn't have a drinking problem, so I thought. I did that and toyed with other drugs for about 6 years. And then I decided to remarry. I remarried, and we were newlyweds. We were married 1 week.